Hello, this is Tinuke Fawoli and I welcome you to part 2 of Practical Solutions to the Native Language Challenge. We're going to start between the age of over 5 and around 18 when children are still in the home. With this age group, you will need to make the activities fun and you need to be creative and probably attach some reward to this. So the first thing you can do is choose a time daily where the native language will be spoken. You can decide that it's going to be maybe right after school, after homework, or before bedtime, but just let it be the same time every day. Second thing you can do is to talk twice. So you say whatever you want to say in the language that you all speak in the home, and then repeat it in the native language that you're trying to teach. And as they start to understand, you can begin to speak more in the native language until you can actually transition to when you only speak the native language in the home. Now, I'm talking about a process that may take months and even years, but it is going to happen. We just have to keep at it and just be patient. You can take your children on vacation to your native country, however much time you're able to spend there, whether a week, 2 weeks, or a month. Just make sure that you speak the language to them while you are there. You insist that your relatives and friends speak the language to them. You watch radio programs in the native language, watch television programs in the native language. Okay, for my adult group, that's those of you, I'm talking directly to you now. You've left home, you're in college, you're working, you might actually even be married, having your own children. This is what you can do. I know that we goofed as your parents, we didn't do it, but a mistake doesn't have to continue to be something that you have to live with. You can do something about it. So first thing to do is listen to your target language, the native language that you're trying to learn. You can listen to a learning video, a movie, and make sure when you do that, you actually sit down with it. You don't multitask, you actually take the time to listen to the inflections, the tones, the rhythms, and the accents. Don't be afraid to make mistakes, because you will. It's like a child learning how to speak. They'll make mistakes in grammar, in vocabulary, and we gently correct them. So it's the same way with you. You are going to make mistakes, but be gentle with yourself, laugh at yourself, correct the mistakes that you need to correct, and before you know it, you'll be fluent. And I have to say to parents at this point, sometimes we laugh at our children when they're trying to speak and they have an accent with it, or they're not speaking the correct grammar. We shouldn't do that. That's just going to discourage their learning. Repeat everything. Repetition is important to learning. Again, you can remember babies just coming back to their parents with the same storybook for the parent to read over and over. They don't get tired. The same way, you have to replay your videos, reread your words, and rewrite your vocabulary. You'll need to re-listen to your podcasts and replay your games and exercises. Then you need to immerse yourself in the language that you're trying to learn. Obviously, the best form of immersion is actually moving to that country and learning the language there. But that's not possible for most of us. But immersion can be experienced remotely. So you can have some online learning courses. One that comes to mind is the Fluent U. You can learn languages like French, Italian, Spanish, Swahili, the African languages. Unfortunately, they don't have so many African languages. But the BBC also has programs in many African languages, like BBC Yoruba, Hausa, and all of that you can learn from. You can also find classes that teach your language. Some colleges actually offer different languages, and if yours is part of that, you can take such classes in college. Go online, you guys are gurus. Find your language app. Find any programs that teach you your language, they're all out there. And for you adults who are married and have children, but you're not able to speak your language and you want your children to be able to speak it, the first thing you will do is use all the resources that we mentioned earlier for adults who are trying to learn the language. And then you try to introduce the language to your children as early as possible. Join social groups of people that speak your native language, whether a church or a community group. Be a part of that. Use a nanny or babysitter that speaks your language and insist that they speak your language to your children. And when grandparents come to visit, insist that they speak the native language to your children the whole time. If you can find a bilingual daycare or school, that would be great. You can also enroll your children in language immersion camps. There's a lot of that in Asian culture, but in African culture, not so much. But we need to have those. And plan vacations to visit your native country so that your children can actually experience it live. They'll hear the language being spoken, they'll see different things. The same way they will also watch TV, listen to the radios, and that deepens their impression about the language. And as a community, we need to start creating classes in our language. I'm praying that God will impress upon some of us that we can actually create this avenue, that maybe we can have volunteers who will come and teach the languages to our children, whether on the weekends, during the summer months, or just any other time. Languages are falling out of use at a rate of 1 in 14 days. That's 1 in 2 weeks. The world's fastest growing languages are French, English, and Spanish in that order. And many of our children are even speaking that, even though it's not their first language. And at this time, I have to talk about my country, Nigeria. Now, I'm an immigrant from Nigeria, and I know what happens there is that many parents don't speak any native Nigerian language to their children, and this is so wrong. I know we are doing it in ignorance, so I'm not going to be hard on us, but it's something that needs to change. Research has shown that if a child is able to speak 2 languages fluently, then they can catch on to a 3rd one faster. So if your child who is being raised in Nigeria has an opportunity to go to Italy or to Germany, for instance, and they have to learn that language, it would be easier for them if they had been speaking 2 languages. So when we only allow them to speak one, we're actually hampering them and really cornering them and not allowing them all the opportunities that they could have, when in fact we ourselves are bilingual. So that's something we really need to change. And I'm going to end on a sober point. 90% of the languages that are being spoken today will go extinct by the year 2050. And my question is, will your language survive? Will mine? Again, thanks for watching, and remember to like, share, and subscribe to this channel. Till next time, God bless.